Hi guys, this is Kushal Kumar and this is part 19 of my C programming language tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you about function definition, declaration, and function call. So let's get started. I talked about these concepts in the last video and I showed you how they work, but in this video everything will be more clear. So let's create a program in which we will add two numbers. For that, let's declare two numbers like num1 and num2. Printf, enter your number, scan the number from the user. %t, so there are two numbers. %t num1 with the ampersand num2, new line here. So let me create another variable here named pro, which will save the product of these two numbers, num1 into num2, right? So now what you can do is you can print this on the screen. What you write is the product of %t and %t is %t. So for first %t we will give num1, for the second one num2, and for the third one we will write pro here. So let's run it. My number is 12 and 10, so it's giving the right output, but let's do it with the help of user defined function. So instead of num1 star num2 here, let's write product and give num1 and num2 as arguments. You will create the function here int product, and you will create two new parameters or arguments here. So here you will take another variable named pro, and now you will write pro is equal to x into y. Now return pro. So there are a lot of things to consider. First, let's see if it works or not. 12, 12. So the answer is right. So it works right, but there is one thing that we have to consider, and it's very important. You have to copy this and put it here. As I told you in the last tutorial, this is the function declaration, and like any variable, you have to first declare them the way I've done here, then only you can use it. In case you didn't declare num1, num2 and pro, what would be the output? There will be an error. But in this case, this is even more dangerous, and that's because it's not giving you the error as you just saw, and instead of that it will give you some unexpected results at times, which will be disappointing because you will not be able to know the real reason behind your program giving unexpected results. So this, as you can see, is function declaration, and this right here is function definition. Function definition is the same way we create main function, but in this case we give the name to the function as we like, but it should be a valid identifier, and we also give the arguments here, and in this case void argument is given because main is not taking any arguments. As I told you before, this is the header and this block is the body of the function, and together they create a full-fledged function. And one thing that is remaining is this is the function call. Why is this the function call? Because with the help of this you are giving the control from this line to here. The control comes here when the compiler sees this. So the control is here, and here it is written int x and int y, which means it will take two arguments, and those arguments are these two, num1 and num2. So the values were 12 and 10. So correspondingly x will get the value 12 and y will get the value 10, and then the control will come inside the function, and here pro will be given value of the product of x and y. and then pro will be returned. As it is an int type of function, it returns something. Has it been a void function, it would not return anything. Now if you try to build it, you will get an error, and that error is return with a value in function returning void, which means the function has return type void, but you are still returning a value. So that's the difference between the return types, and these two are totally different. These two have their num1 and num2 have their existence in the function in which they are declared. They cannot be used anywhere else in the program. So num1 and num2 will be used in this function block only, and int x and int y will be used in this block only. So that's why we had to create two new variables, because these two cannot be used here, and this pro variable and this pro variable are different. That is because the existence of this pro variable is inside this block only, and this is another pro and it has the existence here. So when the control comes here and when the compiler sees int pro, it doesn't remember that. It knows that this is a different kind of pro, because this is different from this function, because every variable has their validity inside where they are declared. So when this pro is returned, this pro will get the value of this pro. Instead of pro, you can write here pro1 if you are not comfortable with this. You can also give this num1 and num2. That will not make any difference. These num1 and num2 are totally different from these num1 and num2, which are declared here. Now if you run it, you have to change num1 and num2 from here also. So now if you run it, you will enter the numbers and you're getting the right result. So the difference between these two and these two is that these two are actual arguments, because these two are given to the function itself, and these two are called formal arguments. They are just named this way to differentiate both of these from each other. So this is actual argument because these are the actual arguments passed to the function product, and these are the formal arguments because these are taken just for the sake of accepting the real arguments. And this return statement is optional. The same way that if you comment it out like this, you will see that there is no error. And if you remove int from here, you will see that it still works, and now the default return type will be given to this function named product, and that default return type is int. So if you write int or not, it doesn't matter. The default return type is always int. And one last thing, you can omit this and this from here. So the names of the arguments in the declaration are optional. It's working same way. So what this declaration does is it tells the compiler that there is a function in the program which has a return type of int, and it has two arguments which are both of int data type. Had it been that you had given this here, then you didn't require this declaration. Declaration is only required if the user defined function comes after the main function, so that main function knows that there is a function after the main which has these specifications, which is it has two int data type arguments and it is of return type int. So this way, if you give three things here like num2, and then if you try to run it, then the error will come and the compiler will say that there are too much arguments for this function. That is because compiler knows that this function will take only two arguments. One more thing is, if you remove the declaration from here and then you give num2 here once more, you will see that there is no error. So in this case, the third argument will be ignored. But this is not the right way to do things, as I haven't given the declaration here. It's not showing any error, but it's not the right thing to do. And one more thing, if you omit this num2 from here, and if you now build it, it builds successfully, but the second argument in here, which is called formal argument, the second formal argument will get some garbage value because we haven't given any value for the second formal argument. So that's everything about function definition, declaration, and function call. this is function call. So when this statement comes, the control goes here, and when it's totally executed, this function is totally executed, the control comes back here, and then the next statement is printed on the screen. As you can see, if you enter the number, what happened is when this statement came, the control went here, and when this executed successfully, the control came back here, and the next statement started executing. The product of 12 and 12 is okay. If you see, the error is because of the fact that num2 took the garbage value. That's why the value is arbitrary. So you have to take care of all these things. That's all about this tutorial. I hope you liked it, and if you have any questions, put them in the comment box below. I hope you liked the video. So thank you for watching. Have a nice day.